Hey guys, just gonna talk about this IntelliSkin shirt. Actually, any type of postural correction type shirts. And I know what you're gonna say. Normally, I say bracing is bad. Why? Because we wear a brace, we're gonna get weaker, right? We're not actually forcing the muscles to use. We're just supporting them. But when you are correcting half the problem, you're correcting the very tight muscle. You're forcing that to be in a more lengthened state. So if we got something where they're rounded, these upper traps is pulling that head into extension, what we talked about before. It's actually not a posture type I see very often. uh, this guy too, we can see how, again, not a posture type I see too often. Um, but we do see those hips going forward actually in both scenarios is one of the issues there. Because we're not, what I was talking about, we're not correcting the foundational aspect of the pelvis. This guy looks good up top, right? Ear, shoulder in line. Not ear, shoulder in line. But one thing we could see is his hips are probably in a better place than this guy's hips. We can't really see his feet. We can just see where the angle is going, that his weight is probably more on his arches. So we still have the broken foundation problem. Whereas this guy is actually very engaged in his hip flexors, but he is rounding his spine to do it. So we're always cheating at the spine. We like to cheat somewhere at the spine, but removing tight restrictive muscles and having something to support that can definitely help us activate and get to that point where we don't need something like this. But it can work against you, right? If we're creating all this excessive curve, and it's actually, in a way, it's compression of the spine. It's just changing it from one area to another area. We're fixing the head, but what are we doing to the pelvis? Okay, so, and I do this with people. I kind of grab them. I'm like, well, we'll fix this area and we'll make a little change somewhere else. It's like I can't really like grab them. I need like 3 arms to hold somebody up where I need them to be, and to get that spine, that lengthened state. So, but if you're having really a lot of trouble with foundation training, try something like this, the IntelliSkin shirt, to help support at least one half of you, so you can focus on working on the foundation there. And then this guy, pretty close to good. Ears it's still a little forward to the shoulder. Still looks like got some internal rotation there in that shoulder. Again, this is not a real person, so it's hard to tell if this person is anatomically changing as they should. It looks like the legs actually have not changed at all, so I don't know if that's very accurate. But that's how it should be, right? The pelvis shouldn't change, and then the stance shouldn't change. And yes, that hip should be pretty much right where we see it here, right over the heel, right over the bump we call the lateral malleolus. That's where we want that stance. So now we got bam, 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 right? Now he's still a little caved in, and that could open up a little bit, but there's only so much you can do with CGI. It doesn't really compare well to posture, but it's a great point. Pelvis should not change, and that's exactly what we see here. We can see some automatic change going on here, where this guy's really tilted. This guy's doing the opposite now. We're not, he has had severe alterations to compensate for the change he's making. Because the body, we want it to be comfortable. It doesn't want to fight against restrictions. So we still have to learn to decompress and use these spinal erector muscles, use these multifidus muscles that lengthen us. We still have to learn to access them, and also engaging the hip flexor is important. But that strap will help you engage, making movements harder. Simple things like walking and sitting in the car, make those things harder. And that's going to really get you out of pain, because it's really attacking it excessively during certain moments of the day. And then I can be lazier when I want to be. You don't always have to be vigilant about these things. Just pick moments, like when I'm at work, I'm really just steadfast and strict about my posture. And then really get out of pain quickly that way. Because you're just making every movement functional, and you're using your spinal muscles instead of chronically bending at them, and that's just where it leads to breakdown over time. So we just pick the wrong moments to try to fix ourselves, and we have this idea that we need bracing or we need stretching to fix the problem. That's what I hear all day long. How do I stretch this? Or what kind of brace should I use? And the best brace is your muscle balance. in the stability of the spine. Strengthening the spine is the best thing, and everything else is going to be supported around that. All your shoulders and hip problems are going to go away the more we strengthen that spine. You learn to move functionally. That's the end game there. That's the goal. And then applying that throughout the day. And then, cause I used to think the same way, like, oh, how do I prop myself up when I sleep, and how do I sleep in this perfect position with the perfect bed and the perfect pillow? Because, you know, I noticed I would be in terrible pain when I woke up if I didn't have all these little devices that now I no longer use, because my spine is strong enough that I don't injure myself during my sleep, which is, you come to the realization, okay, that's not normal, that shouldn't be happening. Okay, it's not. We just tend to blame that on age, getting older, and not so much of this instability that we've created through improper movement. So there's the two trails of thought. We have this broken system, how can we support it? Or okay, the system is broken because I'm not moving functionally, how do I change how I'm moving to strengthen my body? Okay. And we will, I mean, it's just you've given an imbalance enough time that injury is happening without any cause or onset. Okay. And we all have problems that we have to overcome. We all have injuries or maybe structural things we were born with or happen at an early age that we have to deal with. But at the end, it's muscle imbalance that's causing alterations elsewhere. Even if you have pins in your foot like I do, and it changes the way you walk, you still can strengthen and support that foot, but also strengthen your spine so it's not being torn apart by bad walking, which mine was. Everything was getting affected just by my foot throwing everything off. You know, it's like what we see everywhere else. Injuries, just given enough time, we'll start to have symptoms elsewhere. So hopefully that helped with that. I'm not against a shirt, a postural shirt. Dr. Eric Goodman, Foundation Training, had some good things to say about the postural shirts as well. I think he shortly said what I said here in a very long way. That's my job. Go way over what you need to hear, but maybe you do need to hear it. Obviously, he believes that you need to fix the foundation as well. That's what he's all about. All right, so work on the foundation training. Really get into it. Really review my videos to help you understand why you need to do that, and maybe some tricks to help you get more of the ergonomics of it throughout the day too, not just doing these exercises when you're in pain, but also moving better so you don't feel the need to always have to do these stretches and these exercises all the time. You shouldn't have to go home and stretch just to survive. Okay, you shouldn't have to do like a 20-minute yoga routine every morning because you're doing what you need to be doing throughout the day. And it's good when you get in a bind and you haven't been able to, or you didn't have the time, or you had a day where you're sitting, or you had an injury, then you can use those exercises too. And it's good to have a routine where you do stuff like that. Anyways, but it's just, it gets tiring on us because we're constantly correcting our bodies. When we just make it a lifestyle, we don't have to worry about that.